This is Charlie Key. You are listening to the Be a Light podcast. Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden." Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Be a Light podcast. I am so excited about today's guest, Ansleigh Williams, Miss Troup County. She is truly a light in her community, and she is the perfect representation for this podcast and the message that I'm trying to convey. So everyone, welcome Ansleigh Williams. Well, we'll get started. So thank you for taking time out of your day to come do this. When I started thinking about who I wanted first on this podcast, I knew that I wanted to start it off with people in the Miss America organization and just show what these women are doing in their communities. And the first person I thought of was you, because you truly are a light in your community. You're so genuine and you just make a difference in the lives of others. So let's get right into it. The question of the podcast is why? Why do you do what you do? Because I believe that the question why really motivates us to be 100% in all that we do, because it's easy to know what you do and why you do it, but it's very important to know why you do it. So you do a lot in your community. You work with the Indent movement. You have a lot of involvement in your church and the Miss America organization. So why do you do all these things?
Well, thank you for having me. So I just adore the name of your podcast. So it's Be a Light, right?
Yes.
So my platform is Shine a Light. And they both correlate, but they're very different. And
Yes.
I feel like shining a light is encouraging others to be the light.
Yes,
And
I love that.
that is just my heart in everything that I do. It correlates in Miss Georgia, obviously shining light on a stage and on a
Yes.
platform, but I'm learning how to shine that light more close to home with my community and with my business. And then that really is where the passion comes from, is from my ballet studio with lots of girls who just get to come and dream and watch their dreams come to life in ballet. And my heart just burdens for people who don't have those opportunities to dream. So my why is to open the doors for others to be that light. And I'm here to shine and to lead them on a path that gives them any opportunity for them to find their own why. And mine is just to inspire others. And I love doing it in every outlet that I have.
Absolutely. That's incredible. That is totally the mission of you and everything that you do. It's so prevalent. Speaking of your platform, the Shine a Light on Slavery with the Indent movement, tell me what that's about.
So it's all about bringing prevention through education. So I am here to shine a light on a world that lots of people like to keep in the dark, and they don't like to bring it up to the surface because it is a dark subject that a lot of people like to ignore. And I feel like it has become more up to the surface lately in the news and just so much happening in our world. But a lot of people don't realize that it's happening in our back doors or even under our own roofs. Since COVID, we have obviously taken a lot of things virtually. So these predators who are out there, they're noticing. They're not dumb. They're very aware that little eyes are all over the internet now. And not only are they on the internet, they're bored and they're seeking for attention, and they're wanting affirmation from someone because most of the kids are at home alone. They're not there with their friends. So this is not a foreign problem. It's not a problem that only lies in big cities. It's not even a problem that only lies in poverty homes. It's now a problem that lies in every home. And I think about my little sister who she's 11, but she has social media, but she doesn't know the dangers of social media.
Yeah.
I'm here to simply just spread awareness. And I know it's a big world. Human trafficking is large.
Yeah.
But we're here to be the one for the one. So I'm encouraging anyone just like you or anyone who's listening that you could be the one person to end human trafficking in another one's life. And that's what
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Have you ever seen the movie Priceless?
I have not.
Okay, so you know the song Priceless by For King and Country?
Yes.
So the movie is based on that song, and I'm pretty sure it's inspired by a true story, but it is about human trafficking, and it's about three women who were rescued. And it's just an incredible story. And before I watched that movie, I didn't know about human trafficking. And it was about 3 or 4 years ago. And so
Yeah.
that movie just gave me a passion for the End It movement, and I follow in everything they do, and I just love that that's your platform. So speaking of being the one for the one, how can we get involved?
Yeah. So it simply is with, if you see something, say something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a hotline number, literally Google, and it will be anywhere near you. There's hotlines in Atlanta, there's hotlines in Charleston, there's a hotline in every big city. So you just hotline Atlanta sex trafficking number. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you just see something that is a little bit suspicious, call it in because it
Yeah.
could be a life changing moment for someone. So that is one way. See something, say something, but also to start protecting our next generation.
Yeah.
And me and you both are the next generation. We are the
Yes.
next generation. And that's our peers. And so for me and you to be a difference, that's protecting our friends and just
Mm-hmm.
checking in on them, having a buddy system, being like, girl, who's your romance? What's your
Yeah.
romance like? Is he
Mm-hmm.
genuine? Because these predators, they come at you and they seem like they just want to be in love.
Mm-hmm.
And they just fall in love with you until the right moment where they get to sweep you away on a trip and
Yep.
you're gone. Or they're just manipulating you to make it seem like, okay, well, if you don't do this, if you don't send me this, if we can't send this to someone else, then I'm going to come after your family.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes so real. And so
Mm-hmm.
just being so close to home with our friends, that's when it makes a difference. Even if your
Mm-hmm.
friends are not in it, your friends may know someone.
Yeah.
So that's how we become a difference. One, see something, say something. But two, start being a buddy system in your friend group and in the little people around you. Whoever has social media, just start checking in on them every now and then and talk to their parents about it. Make this a table conversation. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Definitely. I like that. So how did you get involved with the End It movement?
I honestly just kind of like you watched a movie and kind of
Mm-hmm.
became aware to it. And then I started going to passion conferences. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where I started learning so much from Christine Kane
Yeah.
and her and Shelly and Louie and my parents and ladies like Dana Spinola. They've just all opened up so many doors. And it was like the Lord was just screaming, like,
Yeah.
can't believe, look at this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
be a voice. And you're not too young to be a voice. You're not too small to make a difference. And so that's kind of, it was just little touches every now and then that the Lord was like, you can help with this. So I listened and I took the reins of this as my platform.
I love that. That's awesome. And I think I was thinking about when you're saying that, it's like these women were shining a light on slavery, and now that inspired you to shine a light on slavery. And that's kind of the point of this podcast, is to share the how we women are being a light in the community, and how anyone is being a light in the community, and inspiring others to do the same, so that we all just become lights for each other and we share the love of Christ. So
Yeah.
um could you tell us some things that you are doing with the End It movement right now to shine a light on slavery?
So right now I'm really utilizing social media and my local outlets. So I'm in Jefferson and I have two ballet studios. And so in those ballet studios, I have girls who, like I said, have social media and they have friends of a friend, and they're able to just talk about it. So I'm making it to where those girls know the facts and they know that this is real. And so the people around me, I'm shining a light for them to be one. But then I've also connected with a sex trafficking rescue home in Athens. And I've been
Wow.
able to meet some girls just today. They had a huge grand opening with, I don't know if you've ever shopped at Fabric. Some people call it Fabric, but they put in a free fabric in their store. And this is an organization that allows these girls coming out of human trafficking to go in and shop. And the store is beautiful, but they just get to take home the clothes. There's no cost to it.
Wow.
So they had a grand opening today, and I was able to go and just partner with some of those girls and help them style and find an outfit and make them feel beautiful and confident in whatever they were wearing. And the girl who spoke, she was like, an outfit really can change your world. How
Yeah.
you feel in a good outfit and those great shoes really can make the biggest
That
difference.
is so awesome.
So,
That
and
is
then
so
there's
awesome.
some other big organizations in Atlanta that I've been trained with just on how to speak about this whole world. and I've been able to take some workout classes to make the girls feel strong and powerful. But mostly it has been an honor just to talk about it wherever I am.
Yeah.
And I've been on some other podcasts with local Athens areas, just shining the light.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. So speaking of your dance studio, tell me about that. Do you own it? You own it, right?
Yes, yeah.
That's incredible. How did it get started?
It got started with me just teaching some little girls at my church. Literally, it was just like, let's have fun. Let's have a dance class before Wednesday night Bible study. And I was 13. So
Oh my
13, I just started
gosh.
teaching fun little classes. And I mean, 8 years later, I have 2 studios. I opened one in Jefferson. So it was based inside of my church for a long time. And then I just
Mhm.
moved it to downtown Jefferson. And at the same time, I opened up another one in Loganville. So I have
Wow.
2 beautiful little places. They're not little. I say they're little. They are
Yeah.
just bubbling. And we put on 2 beautiful productions, one in the spring and one at Christmas. And the Christmas one, I've written the story of it's the Nutcracker, but instead of
Wow.
Claire receiving a Nutcracker, she receives a Bible, and so she goes into Bethlehem instead of the sugar plum land. So we get
Oh my
to
gosh.
see a live nativity scene, and it is just a glorious event at Christmas. And then in the spring we do a fairy tale. So we're doing the Lion King right now.
Oh
So
my goodness, that's so fun. I love that. Wow. You really are doing incredible things in your community. Um, how did you start competing in the Miss America organization?
So it's actually really funny. So it's just always been a dream of mine to compete. But I've also said that I don't want to go and just make it my life. I don't want to just be a pageant girl. I want to go and use my voice. And so I wanted to be ready when I was competing, ready to take on the title of Miss Georgia. So I waited until I was 21. I felt like that was a good year. And I have a dream board from when I was about 15. And on the dream board, Miss America 2021, like the 100th year, and to go, and to be in it.
Hmm.
And here we are. So I waited, and I always knew I wanted to. And Emily Howell is a former Miss Georgia, and so she's a businesswoman in my town. So I guess it was now 2 summers ago. I sat down and I was like, I'm ready. Like, let's go pick out a dress. So
Wow.
we picked out a dress, a costume, and we've hit the stage. So
That's
here we are.
awesome. That's incredible. Wow. I love that. I think God has a perfect timing for everything, and it's important to pay attention to that, because if we just try and jump the gun on everything that we do, if he gives us a calling but he's telling us to wait and then we just decide to do it anyway, then it's not going to work out. So I love how you just waited on God's timing. That's perfect. So how has the Miss America organization affected your life?
I have really adored the mentors it's put in my life. Just lately, I have loved how the Lord has expanded my influence with the people who are wiser than me. And I am so in love with just getting wisdom from the older generation. So that's been amazing. And then I've loved how it's just literally pushed me into this shining light. And I always said I would have helped with that and been a light and tried
Mhm.
to be a part of the Indent movement more than just drawing a red X on my hand once a year.
Mhm.
But I really kept waiting, if
Yeah.
I wouldn't have actually had something pushing me and made me jump into it. So really my mentors and Shine a Light has been my favorite part of being in Miss America.
That is awesome. I love that. So in I'm changing gears a little bit. So in today's time, it is so easy to look on social media and compare yourself to others, to whether that's like looks or purposes. It is so easy to do that. But you are so authentic and you're so genuine. And it's obvious that you're so confident in yourself. So how do you deal with comparison and where do you find your confidence?
Honestly, thank you. But comparison, I feel like is going to always be an issue for any girl. And I
Yes, definitely.
are looking at being a part of an organization with so many beautiful contestants.
Mhm.
It can get weighing on you
Yeah.
just looks. But you just have to remind yourself that yes, an outfit can change the world, but it's how you feel an outfit. It's
Yep.
how that shoe makes you feel. And I just cling to what the Lord has me doing. And I know that if the Lord put me in Miss America, it doesn't matter what I look like compared to the person beside me. If He put me just in this church, in this ballet studio, if He put me there, then the comparison side I have got to conquer and I've got to rise above it. There's always going to be voices from the outside. And I'm
Yes.
talking just from being a business owner at my age and with so many competitors in the dance world, they're always going to be there. And I really loved going through what I've gone through at 21. It has just been, there have been really high highs and there's been really
Yeah.
low lows. And those low lows came at my self-esteem and my confidence real hard. And
Yeah.
they continue to come at it. But I believe that the Lord puts you through those hard moments to refine you and to make you stronger. And those hard moments where your confidence is being built, that's what girls like me and you have to cling to in times we feel like our comparison is being shot and it's being
Yeah.
nagged at by somebody. So I cling to the Lord's calling on my life. I know if I'm living in it, that no one can deter me from it. And that keeps my head on straight. But it's also remembering what I've been through.
Yeah.
And I've been through, puts the smile on, puts the genuineness. You know, it's been a journey. And the servanthood and remembering to stay humble keeps the comparison aside as well. Because
Definitely.
if we're so worried about it, that's not being humble in any way. It's just you're trying to be better,
Exactly.
trying to be better
Yeah.
than everybody else, and you're just not. You're just not going to get there.
No.
So,
And
do you
if that's your end goal, then are you really serving the Lord?
exactly? So, as long as His name is being praised and you're living in His calling, I believe that's where the comparison goes to end.
Yeah, definitely. So faith is obviously something that is very important to you. So when do you think that you really accepted Jesus in your heart, and how did you do that? And when did you start living solely for His glory?
Wow. I was blessed to grow up in a home full of people who love ministry, and my parents were both working in the ministry field. So I knew of the Lord, and I knew that He was real from the moment I was able to start
Yeah.
comprehending things. Then, when I got into middle school, was when just youth conferences and things started happening that you really stepped away from underneath my parents. That was when I went on the trips for myself and I went to the conferences. I started learning from other pastors and other mentors. And that was when I think my view of God just blew up because it was like, this is my faith, not because of my parents, but because of me. And that was when it clicked, was when I was able to go out from up underneath their wing and start flourishing in mine. And I encouraged everyone to step out on faith and to step out on gaining your own view of the Lord. Don't just sit by your parents. Go serve.
Yeah.
Go get a view for yourself. Because when you're 18 or whenever you decide to step away, they won't be there, but
Yeah.
your faith is there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So what's one of the most important pieces of advice that you've ever been given, whether that's about faith or competing in the Miss America organization or just life in general?
Life in general. 2 Timothy 4, um, Paul is talking to Timothy. Timothy is young. He's a teenager trying to be a difference maker, trying to be a leader around his peers and around those who are younger than him. And he says, do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set the example in your life, in faith, in love, and in purity. And I was just talking to my ballerinas about this tonight of how even Timothy, when he's being talked about in the Bible, but Timothy needed encouragement. Timothy needed to be stronger. And when I was younger, I would look at that verse and be like, okay, well, just because I'm short, like people can still listen to me, you know? But now looking at just all what the Lord is capable of, He's capable of doing anything. And we don't have to be 40. We don't have to be married with children. We don't have to be a male. He's capable of doing whatever He wants in your life. You just can't be afraid of it. And I know for me, just shine a light with human trafficking. It's scary, and you automatically become a target by talking about these things. And I just remember to tell myself, don't be afraid though. Like, don't be afraid because I was put here to be that example. And that is my favorite verse that I've had since I was younger. And then every mentor in my life has just continued to pour that truth into me. So that is the one piece of great just advice and a verse that I've held to my heart for so long, and it has put me where I am today.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love that. That's one of my favorite verses too, especially because, I'm only 15 and I'm trying to make a difference in the world, and sometimes it can be easy to look down on yourself, and it's easy to say, "Oh, well, when I get older, I'll do that." Like,
Yeah.
starting this podcast, I thought, when I'm 18, I'll start a podcast. But then Haley Tillery, I don't know if you know her, but she works at Ironworks, and when she found out that this was something that the Lord has put on my heart, her and my mom really just spoke truth into me, and they spoke life into me, and they said, do this now. Why is this not already a thing? If God has put this on your heart and you know that you can do it now, do it now. And so I love that. Thank you so much for joining me today. This really has been amazing. I think it's a perfect kickoff for the podcast, and you're such a beautiful person, and everywhere you look, you just see treasure in your heart. So thank you for coming, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you. Keep being your light, because
Thank
it
you.
is shining. So I'm proud of you.
Thank
Mwah.
you. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the first episode of the podcast. I know so many people are going to be blessed by the things Ansleigh had to say. If you want to follow her on her journey as Miss Troop County and just her life journey, you can follow her on Instagram. She's at Ansleigh99, and her other Instagram account is Miss Troop County 20. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Be a Light podcast. Join us every week for a new episode.